and welcome back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
I forgot my watch. Makes me crazy.
You're naked.
I haven't worn a watch in years because I lost one I liked and I kept trying to replace it. And because when I was working food service, I couldn't keep it on my wrist. I had to put it in my pocket.
Oh, yeah.
And one day I just lost it somewhere, and
and you're like, eh.
So because I couldn't wear it all day, I just kind of got used to not wearing it.
Mark has never worn a watch. I don't understand.
Yeah, I remember he never liked it.
I knew a guy when I worked at Family Life that had been in the military for a long time, and then when he retired from the service, he said, "I'm never going to wear a watch again." I, on the other hand, I had the watch that you and Mom sent me when I was in graduate school. I
have one watch.
And then I had it for like 10, 11
years
years or whatever. And then I bought one exactly like it when I was in Arkansas.
Nothing different.
And then this one, my mom bought for me for my birthday.
It's solar or kinetic?
It's solar. It's solar. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a kinetic watch.
I love it because I don't have to buy batteries or anything for it.
I have a kinetic watch, and when I wore it 24/7. Slept in it, swam in it, everything. Because I like those kind of watches. I'm like, I have to be able to swim in it, whatever. And then when I got this phone, I got a Samsung watch, and that's the reason I forgot it because it's on the charger.
Oh.
And this morning I didn't grab it. But anyway, so we're here. Some of us have watches. I don't know what time it is. Oh yeah, I've got a clock right here, but it doesn't matter. I still have it. But Eve's going first.
Yes.
And I'm going to grab my
So I have a big stack in front of me. That doesn't mean I did anything. So right now,
welcome back to the channel where we don't do anything all week long.
We are the artists who don't do anything.
Yes.
So right now I'm working on Happy Hanukkah by Erica Michaels, and I'm trying to fix snafus.
I thought you were saying America Michaels. Like, who? Erica Michaels.
Anyway, I'm still working on the menorah. I'm almost done with it. If I would quit making mistakes, it would be done. But
that's the story of your life.
I've been working on it on Fridays, right? And on Fridays, I also do my temperature chart. And I have had the devil of a time with these turtles this time. And so by the time I get that all worked out, I'm too tired. I'm just too tired to work on anything.
Come here.
And then I discovered last night when I was working on it that it was all wrong, and I had to take out so much of it. It was just making me crazy.
The menorah or the turtle?
The turtle. Well, the menorah was wrong too, but...
Just don't put turtles in your menorah.
You can put a menorah on your turtles.
So last time I showed you the head of the dog that I was working on. This one.
The disembodied head.
And I finished it. And I don't have it because I gave it, but here are some pictures of it. It's kind of hard to take picture of it if nobody's holding it, Yeah. But
came out cute.
It was so soft and so cute, and I bought some more of that because I was like, I want to make it again. And then I thought, maybe I should make one of the other puppies. But I already bought gray and white. And like, well, I could use some leftover black and make the one that's tan and dark tan and just make it gray and black. But there's nothing to keep me from making the same one twice. So
you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. So I did a tiny bit on this. When I say a tiny bit, I'm not kidding. Just, I kept looking at my stuff because I finished the dog, and I was like, what was I working on? What was I supposed to be working on?
I always am. I get sidetracked. Woo! And I do something, and then I'm like, wait.
So I haven't gotten a lot further, but, a little bit. I kind of am getting tired of this color, but I don't have that much left of this color. Well, that's not true. After I finish the scarf, there's more of this color. But for right now, I don't have that much left, and I'm like, just finish it, because I'm like, I want to do white now, and I want to do, yeah. You know, you get tired of the color, and you're like, when am I going to get to work on a different color? So, and I did an itty bitty mount of Far Better Things. Oh, I forgot to say that this is
The doggy.
Corgi and Snow by Maria Bravko, Cute Patterns by Maria. Corgis are really cute.
They are so cute.
My former father-in-law had corgis. Yeah, adorable dogs. Anyway, Sweet Wing Studio, Far Better Things, and I did an itty bitty tiny bit of this, which you cannot see. I tried to take a picture. I had to take it kind of at an angle so that you could see. There's these little white spots between this and the light post, and I put those in. I started putting those in. There's some light green that needs to go on here too, but I don't know. I was like, I want to start working on the light post so I can kind of better see where I am or something. I don't know.
Because you needed the light from the light post, the lamp.
Yeah, because there's no lights in the living room.
I had to stitch in the light because I couldn't see.
I think maybe also I put in the blue. There's some blue here from the flowers. So
that'd be something like
the
in Harry
white,
Potter.
like snowdrops or something like that.
Oh,
no.
okay.
Oh.
They're
I don't think
flowers.
so. It could be snow. Yeah, because there's white everywhere. So, because you know,
That's
always
a pain.
winter,
Yeah.
never
No.
Christmas.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you know it probably is snow. Anyway, there's a little white dropping. And it does show up kind of sort of in person, you know, you can see it, but it's more like a textural thing rather than a visual thing. So there is that. And then I put a couple more impossible to see stitches in this. I finished putting in these little flower things, but you can't really see them. And then I started on some more of the leaves, and then I got bored. Part of it is I start stitching, and then I go, I'm hungry. And so I go get something, and then I'm like, what was I working on? I don't know. I'll go do something else. Excuse me. Excuse me. The pollen is flying like you cannot believe outside.
Yeah, and the wind is not helping.
That's why. I am not sick, but I am sick of wind. Okay. And then we have the evil temperature turtles.
Turtle of
It's the
consternation.
turtles of consternation.
Oh, I forgot to say what this even was. See how my brain is working this time? This is Blueberry Berry by Hands On Design. So
It's funny that blueberries are not shaped like those berries, but it's called blueberry berry. I'm just saying, it's a berry, and it's a blueberry, but berries are round. Blueberries are round.
the blueberries on it are round.
I know.
Okay, so temperature turtles, Stitch and Mommy. So I had told myself, okay, I'm going to do these days, and then I'll go back and start putting in the fins and all that. And I'll put in more of the lines on last month's turtle. So instead of that direction, thank God I went the
Move
other
your straw.
direction.
Or don't hold it in front of your. by your straw.
Okay. So I never got back to doing the lines on this one because I said, oh, well, you know, that fin is almost done. I'll just work some more of that fin. So I finished off this fin and I moved to do the head and I went, there's something wrong with this picture. And I thought about fudging it, but you know, all of the turtles are basically the same size.
Yeah.
And it would have been different. And I would have had to fudge a lot of it. So
One of these turtles is not like the other.
so it was one stitch too far that way. This first row right here before the head. And that meant that all of this down here was one stitch too far that way, which when I was trying to, I thought, okay, I'll just go down to here, and then once it's on this level, I'll just leave it. No, I had to go back and take all of it out because it messed it up over here too. And so
I don't need to laugh, but like that happens so often in your life.
it does. And how often do you get the wrong stitch or drop stitches?
Not too often.
Every week. So we finally have some almost reddish days.
Almost reddish. Is that what you said?
It was orangey.
Orange, yeah. It got hot last week.
Yeah,
I think I saw something about how we hit 100 for the first time
Ooh, gross.
this in the past week or whatever.
well, it hit 100 somewhere, but not at Sky Harbor.
Yeah.
Sky Harbor is only up to like 98 last week.
Yeah.
And
But it's beautiful.
It was
today.
only 98.
It's beautiful today.
those of you who have never visited Phoenix, the Phoenix metro area is huge, and it goes from the mountains to a mesa, and it this way and this way. It is a very flat, wide cities, because it's more than one city.
The Phoenix metro area.
Yeah.
Is very
Very, very big.
Megalopolis.
And there are different climates in each one. Yeah.
like I always joke. I hope none of you are from Scottsdale, but I always joke like, oh, Carefree and Scottsdale, they get all the rain because they pay more for it.
Yeah,
They pay for
they're
it.
kind of
They
up
get
in the
better weather.
foothills.
Yeah.
But those foothills are more like mountains than our foothills that we live by.
Yeah. So it's always cooler up there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And they got snow one year.
And Phoenix is basically like a bowl. So a lot of the heat gets trapped with all the cars and everything in that bowl. And so the outer edges are a probably completely different climate than like in the middle of the, and like when I get out of my driveway, I'm in town and I feels a certain temperature, and I get to my driveway and it's cooler. You know, so it's
just different in different parts of town.
Yeah.
That's why I say, and somewhere in Phoenix, yeah, I remember hearing that it was our first 100 day, but I go by the temperatures at Sky Harbor because it is close to us.
and you have
to
to
us.
you have to pick something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it didn't get to 100 on that, but that's not to say it won't soon.
Very.
I mean, Beth and I went somewhere, the attic maybe, I don't know. And that day I was going, okay, I'm going to have to start putting the sunscreen thing on the car because
Yeah.
it was so hot.
Yep.
You get in the car and go,
You're like, oh
this
no,
is nasty.
it starts.
Yeah. So
I have a picture saved here. I'll put it here. I saved it from something. It's a meme gone everywhere, so I'll put it here. And what it says is, if you can't handle me at 115, you don't deserve me at 65. This is a beautiful picture of Phoenix.
So I'm going to show a flash of this. It is a DMC free chart this is probably my oldest WIP, or one of my oldest WIPs. It's a DMC chart that it was free. And I wanted free charts because I wasn't sure how much I wanted to invest in this activity.
How quickly that fell by the wayside.
Oh, yeah. We'll see how quickly that fell by the wayside. So this is my WIPGO call. Oh, so that's kind of sort of what it's supposed to look like. I will not be taking a picture of it so that you can see it up close. Because, what?
Speaking of mistakes.
Every week you have one.
No, not every week. Okay, anyway, I gotta figure
So, it does not call for sparkly threads, but this has a lot of sparkly threads in it. And one of the reasons why I stopped is because I did something wrong over here. There is some
every week you say that.
Yeah, there is something, I don't remember exactly, but I'm like,
What is that pattern? Did you show it already? The
Yes.
turtle? Oh, sorry. I was looking at my mistake. Oh yeah, I remember that.
but I keep your threads to yourself.
I'm grabbing my stuff.
But I decided that I'm just going to figure out, because it's got the Krynic in there and it's put on after, I am not going to take that out. I'm just not. And so I'm going to look at exactly what's wrong and figure out how to work around it. Because I like this.
It's neat.
And-
It's really cool.
And I've let it sit there too long. And so I've got to buckle down and work on it. So that was one of my WIPGO calls for this month,
For April or for May?
for May.
May.
You already got your WIP. Oh yeah, it's coming.
Yeah. So
That's Wednesday, right? May 1st.
this
Yeah.
month it was 3 because she called the middle square. And I had this in my middle square. So I'm not going to, I showed it last
In
week.
April?
I haven't,
You mean? Okay,
the
sorry.
bottom
The
of
May.
The May of.
Oh.
Yeah.
May WIPGO. So I showed this last week. I haven't done any work on it yet. They just called it. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'm not going to take another picture of that because it looks exactly the same. And then I had never printed out a picture of this, but here's a picture of the Chronicles of Narnia. This is Stitch and Book Club. It's also, why am I forgetting everything? Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts. This is Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts too, but it is the Stitch and Book Club parts of it. And this was a SAL, and I started it with the SAL. And this is not even the completion of part 1. So, and I'm doing it on the called for sparkly white fabric because, like the other one, it's snowing in Narnia. So this fabric is sparkly and looks like snow. So I like this pattern, but shiny things got in the way and I never worked on it. So it is there. Now, it has been there so long that I am going to have to hunt down threads. And I have spent a great deal of the last couple of days hunting down threads for these projects that not the temperature chart, because I bought all new threads for that and just kept them in there because, it's a year long. But I have one thread that I've used in other projects. I know I have it and I've used it in this and I cannot find it. And it's a DMC thread and I'm just going to go buy another one because I am wasting time. And then as soon as I buy another one,
You'll find it.
it'll, yeah. Oh, there it is.
That's the technique. That's the finding things technique. Buy another one.
So I forgot to mention last week that I went ahead and bought this pattern. This is cross stitching for fun.
Is that the bee gnomes?
Oh,
So cute. It's called Be Happy.
it's so cute.
And this is a digital pattern. You can buy it off of, I think their platform that they're on now is Inspire Us instead of Etsy because of the war. And you can just go to their Facebook page, Cross Stitching for Fun, and find it. And I noticed that they put out, it's basically a copy of this one, but it's got pink. It's like little berries and stuff instead of flowers.
The sunflowers.
Mm-hmm.
That is so cute.
The sunflowers and the bees is why I like it, but the other one is very, very similar, but it's pink.
I saw those exact bee buttons that they have here
Mm.
at Joann's the other day. Those exact bee buttons. When I was looking for a button for Winnie the Pooh's shirt.
Oh, that's very cute.
Yeah. So a couple of days after I bought this, I got an email. Said, thank you for buying that.
Buy this too.
No.
Oh.
Have this for free.
Aw, and they knew you.
Must have. This is called Beef Amazing.
Sorry, that struck me very funny.
It is. And it's very, very, very simple. It's just a flamingo with the words Beef Amazing. And it's very cute and I love it. But I thought I would like to stitch that on something like, I have a couple of bags or something that would look really cute on. So,
That's really cute.
yeah. Anyway, as I've mentioned before, when I showed patterns that I got at the attic several weeks ago, I ordered some fabric. It came in. So Beth and I went to the attic yesterday, and here's one of my fabrics. This is what I'm going to do, Botanical Bee hands-on design. I bought it for that. And it's
really
called
pretty.
Vein
Atlantic.
Atlantic. It's beautiful. Now, they put on there the name, it's Lugana, it's 32 count. Its name is Vein Atlantic. I have no idea who made it because it's not on there. And she mentioned it to me, but, you know,
Pretty.
I've slept since then. And I bought this because I was wanting a new neutral for doing Sweet Wing Studio Be Grateful. It's 32 count Lugana Vintage Country Mocha. They had this in other sizes and other counts. They had it in other counts, but they didn't have it in the count and in Lugana. I wanted Lugana. I don't mind linen, but I like the feel of Lugana while I'm working, so I ordered Lugana. And then that fabric was lonely, so and this is part of stories, but it's not a story. I mean, I'm going to tell it now. So I had been keeping my eye out for this. And I'm like, do I want it? Do I not want it? And they had another one of this series there, The Fox, the last time I was there. This is called, what, Maggie May?
Yeah.
Another Maggie May. And it's a bunny, and it's a scissor holder and a
Did that come
needle.
out of Nashville?
Yeah, and a needle case. But this one hadn't actually come out. It was shown at Nashville, and it had to be shipped still. And you could get the other one, which was Hazel, which is a fox.
So cute.
They're all adorable, but this was my favorite one. So I was very excited. After I made my purchases, I was waiting for Beth to come out. Thank God she was taking longer than me, because
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a good thing I was waiting because I was looking to see if a pattern I had ordered to come in.
Yeah, so
So
I was
sitting there
I was
waiting
out in the
and
car and I
seeing.
was like, I want to look at it because it's the needle holder and the scissor thing, and I didn't know how it was going to work and blah blah blah. And I opened it and I'm like, okay, how's this work? How's this work? And I looked at the pattern, and the top of the pattern said Hazel, which is the name of the
The one with the fox.
the one with the fox.
So they had put the wrong chart in the wrong package?
The manufacturer put the wrong, the designer put the wrong chart in. And so I went back in, I'm like, am I mistaken? Is this the wrong pattern? And she's like, yeah, that's not the right pattern. And so she opened several, and of all those that were on the hanger, one was correct. And a staff member had another one that she had put aside for herself, and that one was correct. But she's like, okay, I guess I have to contact the designer.
Good for you. I'm glad you did.
And I think they had sold some.
Yeah,
had
she said they
several.
sold a lot of them.
Oh, no.
And
Maybe there was more correct ones then.
hopefully,
Yeah.
hopefully. But you know,
It happens.
I know that a 1-2-3 Stitch had that on their website saying notify me, so they were waiting for some to come in too. So who knows how many were wrong?
Yeah.
Yeah. What a headache for the designer to go,
Oh, no.
oh
I
no.
picked them all wrong.
Yeah. So, and then this has been by the register on it. There's a little table there, and the berry has been there. And I asked them if they had the pattern, and they hadn't had it, and they hadn't had it. I'm sure it came in and went out, and came in and went out, you know. But they had the pattern then, and I snagged it. This is called Berry Thief. Well, it's by Scattered Seed Samplers, Little Berry Thief Pin Keep. See the bird stealing berries?
I love scattered seed samplings. They make really nice patterns.
Yeah. So
My
I was like, okay, yeah, I can do that. Now, it's supposed to be on 36 count, and all of the templates and stuff are for 36 count, so I don't want to do it on 36 count. I'll look at the pattern to see if it has fractional stitches. But if not, I'll do it on 18 count. This, I did not buy any of the called for threads, because and that was another reason why I was taking them out. I was like, there's a lot of threads in there, and I looked at the picture and I was like, where are they used? So many threads, especially teal. I'm like, I don't know. So I wanted to just see whichever one was the predominant one, so that I could see if I wanted to use the Weeks Dye Works for that and then get DMC for the others. There's not a DMC conversion, but I'll figure it out. But I couldn't figure it out because
It was wrong.
well, not only that, it's also very, the symbols, it's not a color pattern, and the symbols, I was just like, I don't know which is which, so I'm going to have to take some time with that.
With a magnifying glass.
And it's not like I have a plan to start that like tomorrow or something.
Right.
If there was going to be one that I was going to start soon, it would be that gnome bee thing. Yeah. Did you see that the bees have little?
Yes.
I mean the gnomes.
They're so cute.
Anyway, that's all I've done. Spend money and waste time. And make a dog.
That's every week.
I made a dog.
You did make a dog. You did make a
I
dog.
wanted to just make another dog.
Are you going next?
Yeah, I guess so.
I can go next.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna go next. I worked on, of course, Hannah's sweater, and you can really actually, I was just looking at it, And you can really see now what the body of the sweater is going to look like. Look.
Oh yeah.
So that's going to be the main color is this brown and brown with brown on the side.
Brown and brown and brown.
Brown and brown. But I think actually it's really kind of striking this dark espresso color and then these two browns. And I was so worried that they'd be too close, but and they are very close in color, but I think it'll be nice and subtle.
Yeah, I was gonna say you can.
Isn't that pretty?
See the difference.
Isn't that pretty?
Yeah,
it's coming out. I'm really pleased. So I've been working on that off and on and getting a little bored. But so last week I had the Knitting Guild Association's conference. Friday all day, Saturday all day, and then Sunday all day, or half a day. And it was really good. There were some really good classes, and I can go back and watch them for 6 months. So I kind of need to take a inventory of like what I want to go back and watch. But just some, technique stuff. There was some stuff about the Master Hand Knitting program, just advice. And so while I was watching all those, I was working on this. So that's why I got some significant rows done. And then I was inspired to actually finally just really, here it is April. I was like, 2025 is going to be my year to do the Master Hand Knitting program. And I got hung up on of all things, the blocking report. Because I read through all the instructions and it's like so detailed. These women they're so detailed. But they have to be because they're certifying people as master hand knitters. So the instructions are very detailed. And actually I found out I had an old copy. So during the conference I talked to someone and they sent me the newest version. And so everything's a little different. So I was reading through the instructions again and I was like, I don't have to write the blocking. You have to write a report. For this level, you write a report about blocking and in the few other ones you write other reports like a book report and stuff like that. Anyway, I was like, I thought I had to actually write the blocking report, but actually it says research it and then start. And then after you're done with all your swatches, you write the report, which makes sense because it says, explain in detail how you blocked your swatches. Well, you can't do that till you're done. Anyway, so I was like, okay. And I had one of the classes I took was on the preliminary swatch, and so I have that here. And I was thinking about actually starting my YouTube channel with this swatch and talking about it and really starting kind of my journey through this program. So I'm still thinking about it. I know I said that probably months ago. But this is... This is a very small little piece of knitting, but it caused a lot of... This is my second version as well. Caused a lot of consternation. Because you have to really... They are very... Like, a little bit, you're like, that's not... Like, I can hear people in my... like, you can hear, like, all those comments people always say on, on everything. Like, why are you so picky? But they're picky. They have to have standards. And so... This is done. This is what you do before you do the actual swatches that are judged. And this is also judged, but I think from what I understand, they won't make you do the preliminary swatch over again. It's really a kind of an experiment for yourself to figure out how you're going to do the rest of the swatches and what needle you're going to use. And so they have you pick the yarn, and in my case it's Cascade 220, which is just a pretty standard... it's non-superwash wool, and they have you pick 3 needle sizes that are around the recommended needle size, and then you do. So that's why it gets bigger. When I first put it down, he was like, "Are they different sizes?" And they are. This was knit with a size 6. This was knit with a size 7, and this was knit with a size 8. And they have you measure these blue yarns are marking the selvage edge, which is this edge stitches, because those aren't normally formed. And then you really start measuring from the next one over. And so you measure from side to side and how many stitches are within that, and you divide it. You divide the measurement by the number of stitches, and then you multiply that by 4. And that gives you your gauge. How many stitches within a 4-inch swatch would you get? So, and then what they really want is for you, once you decide what needle you're going to use, you use that needle for all your swatches, and then all your swatches really should be to the same gauge. So you have that guidance. And I've decided to use the size 8. I really like the drape of this portion of the swatch. Like this one is much stiffer. This one is okay, but I'm like, I never use size 8s. I always kind of am using I'm usually using smaller yarn as well. But I really like the drape of this portion, and it falls within the recommended gauge. They also judge your this is the bind off edge. They want it to be still stretchy. They want to make sure that it doesn't it's not too tight or too loose, doesn't like bow out or pull in. And they also judge the cast on edge and make sure that it's also straight and stretchy. And so actually the first one was good, but actually Mark is obsessed. The yarn had a slub in it, so it's like a thickened portion, and it threw like I don't know, 3 rows and about 4 stitches off of gauge right here. And I thought about keeping the swatch because and saying there's a slub in it, but then I thought, well, there's other issues with that swatch, so I went ahead and redid it. They also have you, so what you do is really you evaluate this swatch, and then it informs you what you need to like watch out for in the actual other swatches that you make. And like, you probably can't see it on camera, but I'll take a close-up picture. There is some what they call rowing out in this swatch. See these rows here? Mm-hmm. That means that, and I think if I counted correctly, I think it's my purling, because you knit one side and purl back, and I think it's the purl rows that are looser than the knit rows, and that's what causes that. Mm-hmm. And in the class that I took on this swatch last weekend, they said, they don't expect it to not have us any rowing out, and especially with the preliminary swatch, it's really, they're not judging this the way they're going to judge the rest of the swatches. Like, I don't think they make you remake your preliminary swatch. This is to mostly inform you. So mm-hmm. I believe that those are my purl rows that are winding up like that. And so it gives me information to watch out for in future swatches. And I was blocking this last night, so I soaked it and wrung it, got all the water out, and then I was pinning it on a board. And my son wanted something from me, and he said, "Can you help me do this?" And I'm like, "Yes, but after I get this blocked." I mean, you have to make sure that both sides are the same length, because when knitting is wet, you can stretch it any which way and pin it down, and that's how it'll dry. So I was like working on it, and for a while it was a little crooked, and so I had to take out all the pins, and he's like, "Can you help me? Can you help me? Can you?" And he was like standing there, and I'm like, "Yes, I can help you when I get this done, because I can't let this dry while I go do something." I'm like, "I have to pin this right now." And he got a little mad at me. And afterward, he did apologize, but I was like, I couldn't, like, this is like the most important blocking I've done in the last few months. Like, if it's a garment, I just want to make sure it, or like that big shawl, yeah, it took me forever to pin it out, but it's not this isn't life and death either, but it's like, I need to get it right, and I have to get it right while it's wet. And, there's at the very end, you make a mitten, and I chose this dark blue to be my contrast color. I hope it works. I saw in a sample, I saw one in the darker yarn too, so I'm like hoping that, because they like light colors, but but when I look at the ball of yarn, I'm like, I could see that this is still going to be easy to read and have stitch definition. So anyway, that's my preliminary swatch. It took me quite a bit of time, but now I'm ready to move on with my first swatch, which is ribbing and a section of garter stitch. So I'll bring that next week maybe. And then because I was bored with everything on earth, I decided to pull out my office sweater. Here's my office sweater. This is the front side. This is the back. And I'm using these that yarn to mark rows, although I think it's wrong. So I think I'm just going to pull it out and just count them the old-fashioned way. But as soon as I'm done this, the length, then I make 2 rectangles the same length, and for the fronts, and then I make sort of triangles, trapezoids for the sleeves, and sew it all together. Easy sweater. This is for me, for the office. And I just pulled this out because I was like, I'm sick of the color work in Hannah's sweater, and I'm sick of doing everything else, and I just need something to do that's slightly brainless. So that's what I did, and that's me. I'm done.
So.
Oh, another news. Sorry.
Oh, it's okay.
Because I'm packing up I've decided I'm taking this to Boston with me, and so I have this pattern on my iPad, but instead of using it on the iPad, I'm gonna just take this piece of paper with me because I'm like, I don't want to take the iPad and I'm gonna be on this chart forever. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just taking a piece of paper with me to Boston.
It weighs 4 days. Less.
Yeah, it weighs less and it's less problem. So that's what I'm doing.
Okay. Let me prepare myself. Take a fortifying sip. Did you say something about that?
I forgot about this. Oh yeah, me part 3, me part 2. So long ago, far away, I talked about wanting to make a knit swirl sweater, and you can probably look that up. I posted several pictures of that. I don't know what episode it was. If I remember to find it, I'll put it right here. And I'm decided to spin my yarn for it, and I spun up. This is Cotswold. I finished a full 4 ounces of this the other day, and it came out like maybe sport, maybe heavy fingering. Yeah, that's the same thing. Not worsted. So, but this is unwashed, and it might fluff up a little when I wash it. But I was able to spin this and finish it. I spun it very thin single, and then I chain plied it into a 3-ply. So it's a nice round yarn. So I think next I'm gonna start one of the bumps of the Jacob wool, the dark brown that I have. So I'm thinking that the knit swirl will be these 2 colors. I have no idea yet how I'm going to do it. If I'm just going to, because I have more of I think I figured out that it's a 3-to-1 ratio that I have. Obviously, once I get all the yarn spun, I'll have a better idea. But I'm thinking of maybe doing strategic stripes, like the sweater starts on the outside, so I thought if I alternated along those outside rims and then made the majority of it the dark color, and then put some more of the ridges of this color in the sleeves, that might be interesting. So anyway, but yeah, I forgot that. That was my accomplishment this week also. Had some spinning time again. So that's me.
Okay. So my April WIPGO calls were, of course, the fair. I showed that last time, I think. And the Swans was my other April call, along with the other secondary things that I already showed. So I worked some more on the Swans, and I had this out of the hoop a while ago, but I put it back in because I was working on it. So I did most of the little cabin up here. I thought I had the other colors, the other color that's the door and the majority of the window, but I don't have it. I must have it somewhere else. I don't know. But so I did this sort of outline of the swans, all of that. And so really there's like 3 colors that are left. There's a lot of white in this one area of this swan, and then the neck of this swan. And then there's a lot of gold in there. And so I may work on this a little bit more for the rest of the month. I don't know. This is the swans. Excuse me, by Cottage Garden Samplings. It's part of their Year in the Woods series, and I'm doing all of them on this same fabric that I dyed. So this is the number 2 chart. This is the fox is the number 1, which I did a lot of 2 years ago, I guess, when I first started these. And this is the jackrabbit, which is, this square will be the jackrabbit. And when I worked on it, all I got was these 2 little flowers. But it's one of my calls for May. I'm continuing on with this festival of this series. Every month I've got something. So hopefully I'll be able to. Oops, sorry. Pull this needle off. Get more done on the jackrabbit. So hopefully I'll actually get to the rabbit. It's a little hard because this one there's a lot of the flowers and stuff before you get to the rabbit, so it's pretty far to count. And I have that here. Here it is, the jackrabbit. It's so cute. I saw this. Somebody else was doing this series when they came out. I guess 2 years ago, and she had seen this one and fell in love with it. And I thought, oh my gosh, I need that. And then of course I got the whole series. So yeah, I'm hoping that I can, since I did just the first 2 flowers, that I can do more of it so I can get to the actual rabbit, because he's kind of far on that side. Anyway, so that's one of my May WIP-GO calls. The numbers were 5, 13, and 19. So this is 19. And then I have, like a pile of. I try to keep it just the current ones that I'm working on. But I have all of the project bags that contain the Year in the Woods series, so that because they all have kind of certain colors in common and things like that. So I have them all handy where I can fish around in them. And then I also have my Rabbit series, because those are on this WIPGO board, and I want them handy where I can grab them. So, but along in there, I also have this Black Cat Season series that I hadn't worked on in ages and ages. So this is number 4 out of 6 of this, and this one is called House Panther. And so I just, the other day I looked at it and I thought, you know what, I want to work on that. So let me move this out of the way. So last time I worked on it, I had almost all of the black in the word beware. I hadn't finished the E. And then there's an outline of this. It's called Autumn Leaves. It's all these are Week Starworks colors. When I bought the patterns, I bought the fabric and the thread pack to go with them. And so I have the fabric all rolled up here because it's a long, skinny quarter. But so I had the arrows for here put in last time. But so I finished the Autumn Leaves color, and I did these 2 words coming down here, and there's green. I think it's supposed to be like shutters on it because this is a window here. That there's a cat in there. But so really the the window is kind of, you know, a lot of stitching. There's like curtains and, you know, and then the window frame kind of thing. And then once you get past that, there's just words down here. It says House Panther, right? So there's kind of a lot of stitching right here in the middle, but hopefully it, you know, it can go pretty quickly. I don't know when I'm going to get back to it. Maybe I'll work on it between this and the swans to the end of the month or whatever. But anyway, so also part of my, let me put this over here, giant pile and nowhere to work. So number 19. Okay, so I have the Jackrabbit and this Prairie Schooler Starry Night. And so this is the one that I started the Mary and Joseph on the donkey in the coming into Bethlehem. And I started on 22 count Hardinger, and I'm doing one thread over, I want to say 2, but I'm kind of not enjoying it because I have to be very careful that, you know, the thread, you know, wants to slip underneath the weave and stuff, and it's kind of a pain. And the other day, last week, I guess, I talked about some fabric that I bought at Michael's. I had a gift card, you know, that I used there. And so I was just thinking, because it's all 28 count, and but it's a larger size piece of fabric. And so I'm thinking about restarting them all. So I don't know if I'll get to the number 1.
Did you finish one of them?
No. So I don't know that I'll get back to this one right away.
You're just like, I don't like it.
Yeah, but it's, you know, it came up on my WIPGO board, and I'm just going to choose. Is it the same
as the last ones that you did? Aren't you using the same type of fabric?
No, I think the last time I did it, I think I did it on 28 count. I just happen to have a big piece of that, and I don't think I have enough of that fabric to do more of these. But if I do this on 28 count, I don't think they'll be that big because they're very small anyway. Mm-hmm. On 28 count, it says it here, the model they had was stitched on 32 count, and I think it says the approximate finish size is 2.5 by 3 5/8, so they're not very big at all. So that's 32 count, so 28 count, they won't be that much bigger. And so I need to do a little bit of calculation to see if I have enough fabric. And also I think, because I have a white Lugana and a tea-dyed Irish linen, and so I want to look at them and see which color I prefer, because of the white Lugana I would dye. Either coffee dye or tea dye, or pick another color, but probably something like, you know, coffee or tea, because of the color that I want. These are done on white, but I think I would like a little bit of color. So I might use the Irish linen piece that I have, you know, but I need to do some calculations to make sure I have enough fabric and all that. So anyway, one of these is on my WIPGO number 19. So I'm going to choose one to do for that. Oh, sorry. And then for my number 5, I'm doing the May Rabbit. And this is all I got done on that one. I have some of the rabbits, and I did one of the little flowers in the corner. And if I'm diligent, I may be able to finish this. I don't know, because, you know, for May there's three numbers called, but we shall see. So yeah, I've got just a little bit done on that, maybe a quarter of it done. But the rabbits go pretty quickly in this one because they're relatively small. The flowers are a little bit more complicated, just because there's just a lot to them. But anyway, that's May, the number 5 rabbit extra, and the main call for number 5 is this Jardin Privé, un lapin dans mon jardin. In other words, a rabbit in my garden. Pardon my crappy French. So I did just the branch. There's a little branch of a tree, and that's all I got on this one when I started it. I think I started it last May as part of Mania or something like that. So it's fitting that it comes up. And then my number 13, is another Sleepy Hollow. Huh, it is. Well, what? Did this? Oh, that's not, okay. That's Starry Night. This is Sleepy Hollow.
I was going to say, I thought you only had one.
Yeah. I misread it. This is Sleepy Hollow. This was a Mystery SAL, and I thought I had the picture, but I don't, by Tiny Modernist. This was a SAL, I don't know, in 2019 maybe, or I don't know what,
Several
a
years
long
ago.
time ago. A start-along, as people say, not a stitch-along, a start-along. So I finished the number 1, except you can do them all as like a sampler, like all in one thing, or you can do them all individually as drums, although they're pretty large drums. But I have not done any of. I have the fabric over here. I haven't done any of the toppers for the drums. They're round circles that go with each of these things. So my WIPGO says Sleepy Hollow number 3, so I haven't started that yet. So make it fabric. But I have a chart that has all these borders on it. It's like basically a side and a top border. But I haven't started number 3. So number 3 I have to do, or I could just finish number 2 and actually finish it. Because number 2, all that's left to do is there's another shade of green and the pumpkin stems. So there's grass and pumpkin stems, and I think that's almost it. I think I did almost everything. There's a little bit of back stitching for like vines on the pumpkins and things like that. So that, either that or I'll start number 3 down here. So I haven't decided yet. But that's one of my WIPGO. That's number 19. Yeah, with a jackrabbit. This goes with the jackrabbit. I'm getting all discombobulated.
Too many things.
You're telling me. So the Starry Night is one of my secondary charts for number 13. So the main call for number 13 is a design of my own that I did, and I think I finished it originally in 2018. This was what I did in 2018, because I know I took it to, what do you call it? Stitch Nanigans, that first year we did it. And so I had finished this, but I was unhappy with the border and this it's supposed to be, I don't know what, water. And I was also I had used for the alphabet, I had used an alphabet that I had for something else, and so I wanted to redo it to make the water, better, and to redesign a little bit of it, and all that. So this is the redesign.
And to make the alphabet your own, right?
Yeah, and to use my own alphabet. So this is the redesign of it, and I barely got a start on it. I just have just a line of water, but I have this giant piece of fabric. But I just started at the top, so I haven't got very much on it. So I'm hoping to.
And it's a hymn, right?
Yeah, come thou fount of every blessing. And so
That's
I
nice.
have all three verses are there, and oh yeah, so
You could just stop at one verse.
I don't want to.
Let's do the whole thing.
I want all three verses.
So when she's 85, she'll be doing down here in this corner.
Mm-hmm. So yeah. So that's one of my other WIPGO calls, and then also let me fold this up here. I don't know what I'm going to do with this one because, whatever. Yeah, so Come Thou Fount is one of my WIPGO calls. And then the other thing is for Mother's Day, I'm going to work on this. That, I really, really, really don't like this linen. It's very loose, very, very, very loose. Like, and I think it's 28 count. I have a little tag here that says 26 count, but I think it's probably 28. And so like there's words on here, like I just have two of them, give and love on there. And I think they're supposed to be like one thread. It doesn't. I don't think the pattern really says. This is New York Dreamer. This pattern, and this is the one that I had a problem with because like some of the embellishments and stuff. There's like rose buttons or something like that on there, and there's other things, and they're just not in the pattern, and there's no explanation about what to do, whatever. So in that regard, I have an idea of what I'm going to do, but also yeah, it doesn't say whether it says the design was stitched with 2 threads and the back stitch. It doesn't say, but I'm assuming it's 1. But I'm having to use 2 because of this fabric. It's such a loose weave. Yeah, so this one I'm working on it just for Mother's Day, and maybe I'll be able to finish it. I think I've done all of the vine and leaves, and I think all that's left is there's like on this end there's some more of these little, I don't know what you call them, stars, clusters, whatever design. There's like a set of them over here on the end of the word mother, and then all that's left is the backstitch words, and then whatever fake thing I decide to do with the flowers. Yeah. So, maybe
Those little ribbon flowers.
Yeah.
I've never liked those little ribbon flowers.
No, I have an idea of something I'm going to do instead. Something that I had in a different pattern.
This morning I saw an Instagram reel of someone doing embroidery roses.
Mm-hmm.
Gorgeous.
Yeah, I have a pattern. I think I finished it in my finishing palooza last year. It's called the Bunny Sampler, and it's a bunny jumping over a hill, whatever. But on there it has, because it's the Chessie and Me design, and Chessie and Me there's always specialty stitches and everything. But so this particular, the bunny sampler has what's called a two-door rose, I think. But you backstitch the spokes of the flower, like like 5 spokes, and then you weave in and out of the threads.
Yeah.
And you just make a big circle until you've basically filled up the spokes and it makes it look like a 3D little rose. So I may pull out see if I can find that pattern and pull it out just to make sure I'm doing it right and
That's a good idea.
do those roses.
Yeah.
On the pattern there's a pink rose and a white rose, just buttons, it looks like. On there, but so I think maybe I can just choose 2 of those colors and make those roses. And then while Eve was having her pattern drama, while she was looking for them, I came across this, and because I almost bought some of those little animals. I almost bought Hazel, the little fox.
And we would have had 2 Hazels.
And there's
The
a
Hazel
couple of
one
others.
is adorable.
Yeah.
I just like this one better.
Yeah, there's Hazel, there's Maggie Mae, there's a little mouse one.
It's a beautiful
they're
series.
just adorable, yeah. But anyway, so I saw this one, and this is called Foxy the Imposter by Romy's Creation. And I really like it because it's a picture of a fox and a chicken. And the fox is wearing a little chicken comb kind of thing, on a rooster comb on his head, and you can see he's got like a little string tied around his head to where he's got the thing tied on, and in his tail he's got some feathers stuck in his tail, and he's saying cluck cluck, like, and there's the chicken beside him, and the chicken's looking at him with like little mad eyebrows.
It's like,
and yeah, he's going, so yeah, he's not buying it.
That's really a fox in the hen house.
Yeah. So, that's really, it was so cute, I couldn't pass it up. And it's very simple. It's only like 69 by 74 or something like that. It's not very big. So, yeah. I don't know what I'm doing. And it's all DMCs too, so that made it more very appealing too, because I thought, oh, I've got all those colors somewhere, I'm sure. And so, anyway, so about that. And that's me.
oh, my.
So I want
Yes.
to tell a story before we get into other stories. Because it is a long and convoluted and strange story. So the other day, I asked Beth if she wanted to go half on pizza. She said, sure. And I decided to order delivery from Little Caesars, which is almost exactly a mile from my house. I could easily drive there, but the parking, especially in the evening, is annoying. So,
And why drive when you could have it delivered?
so
Give me a lotion.
this is not
Lotion.
Yeah.
This is not the first time that I have ordered delivery from anywhere. And it is certainly not the first time I've ordered delivery from Little Caesars. And it said, have your order, and it's been acknowledged, and it'll be delivered about 7:08. Now, I ordered it at 6:37. This is important. And around 7-ish, I looked at it and it said, preparing your order. And the little icon hadn't moved at all. And there was a chosen driver, but they were somewhere in Tempe, just sitting around. And the little thing never moved past preparing, your order has been acknowledged, preparing your order, right?
Yeah.
And just stayed there and stayed there. And then the time just kept, it'll be delivered at 7:26. It'll be delivered at 7:40. At 7:40, which is an hour past when it was expected, I called the 1-800, do you have a problem number that's in the delivery screen. And I said, why is my pizza taking so long? This is ridiculous. You know, it's now saying 7:46. And she's looking at it and she goes, well, it just shows that they're making your pizza and they're very, very busy. And I'm like, what?
That's
Did
what
somebody order
That's what
50?
I'm reading on the app. You should have other information.
Did somebody order 50 of them? I mean, what?
Yeah, it wasn't even like a Friday night or.
And so I'm
Little
like,
Caesars usually just have them like already made.
he didn't order anything,
Weird.
different. It was just a pepperoni pizza and some of those little round things because they were really good, and
pizza muffins.
a bottle of Pepsi. Right? It wasn't a huge order.
They had to go to Fry's to get the Pepsi.
They probably did. No. So I'm waiting, and I'm annoyed with this woman on the phone. And she said, well, because of your trouble, we'll give you a such and such a discount. And I couldn't understand how much of a discount she said. So Beth hasn't given me the half yet because I can't tell her how much it is. But I saw that the person that was slated to deliver it had stopped. They just signed out.
They dropped
it. They dropped it because they don't want to wait forever. And finally, I said, "Can I just go get it?" And she said, "Well, you'll have to call them to do that." So I called them, and they said, "Oh, that was made right away. It's been ready sitting here this whole time."
Oh, no.
And I said, "Isn't it gross by now?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah." He said, "We're going to make it again." I said, "I'll be there in 10 minutes. Well, it was going to be less, I knew, but...
So it was the driver's fault?
No. It was DoorDash's fault because they do their delivery through DoorDash. And there was some snafu in telling it
that it was ready.
Oh,
I see.
Right about the time I got there, apparently just before I walked in the door, a DoorDash person showed up to get it. And the icon was still saying they're preparing their order, right? But he showed up to get it. And he's like, it's too late. They've already given up and they're coming to get it. So cancel it. And so I got a thing that it had been canceled and to talk to the restaurant. So ordering at 6:37 and I'm picking it up after 8 o'clock. Mm-hmm. And the guy at Little Caesars couldn't have been sweeter. And I don't believe, maybe there was something that he was supposed to push that said, we're done or something. I don't know. But there was some kind of snafu in telling in communication, electronic communication between the Little Caesars and the DoorDash thing. I was just like, this is just a stupid pizza from a mile away.
When you first told me, I'm gonna order pizza, and I was like, okay. And then you didn't say anything, and I thought, well, maybe she's not going to order it right away because it's a little early, blah blah blah. When you first told me about it, and so, I didn't really think anything of it. And then after a while, she was like,
yeah. And I really should call him back and say, the delivery should be the discount should be 100%.
Yeah.
Because and the thing is like I said, I don't think it was Little Caesars' fault. They were whipping out pizzas like you wouldn't believe there. But I said, this isn't even Friday night. Mm-hmm. What are you doing? It's a weeknight. It's not a weekend night.
Yeah.
Little Caesars goes pretty fast around 6 o'clock, but they try to keep pepperoni pizza just flying, because
that's one of their hot
and ready pizza, right? Yeah. I didn't order the extra most bestest or the deep dish or no, I just wanted quick and dirty pizza. And that's what I get for ordering DoorDash, and that's what I get for ordering pizza. And nothing against DoorDash and nothing against Little Caesars. I just should not have been putting pizza. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, at least you got an edible product. Do you want to know what happened to me this week?
What?
Okay, I have in my desk a drawer where I keep, like, I have this little thing, a little plastic thing, and I have, gum and just different little snacks. I even have a salt and pepper shaker for when I take a hard-boiled egg, and also in there I've kept like my little candy or whatever, or like I have these Parm crisps that I have, and Mark bought me some beef jerky, and a lot of, she knows the story, but Eve doesn't, so don't spoil it. And I took a bag of beef jerky with me, and I had been occasionally eating it, and I had not eaten any in a while. But that day I was like trying to avoid the chocolate that was down the row, and I'm like, I'm kind of hungry. So I was really busy, and I grabbed the bag of beef, and no one at my office knows this because I was too embarrassed, even though it's so funny, I was too embarrassed to tell anybody. I grabbed the bag of beef jerky, and I'm looking at my screen. I reach in and put a piece, and somewhere in the back of my brain, I realized this beef jerky doesn't smell very strong. Like, you know how you open like certain beef jerkies, they're like, you really smell it. And I always worried, like, it smells up the whole area. And I remember thinking, it doesn't smell very strong. And I put a piece, it was pretty rectangular. I put a piece in my mouth. I'm looking at the screen. And right around that time, like, my lips and my tongue register the fact. And also, I'm like, this piece doesn't smell very strong, like beef jerky would smell or taste. And I'm like, and it's fuzzy. It felt like I was putting like this in my mouth, like, and I pull it out, and it is 100%. You're not even listening to me.
I am listening.
It was 100% fuzzy on both sides and green. It was this color of green. It was
gross.
And I was like, and then I looked at the bag, and through the front window, it was like all the pieces in there were completely, it was just a mold fest in the bag. And I sent Mark a picture. I have a picture of it.
Gross.
I was like, oh my God, what did I just do? And I'm like,
like Tom Hanks in that movie.
Yeah.
Really wiping your tongue off.
Let's see. I know I sent him a picture. Hold on. I was like, oh my God, what did I just do? I thought I sent him a picture. Yeah. Here's the barfy faces.
Oh my God. Oh
Look
my
at that.
God.
How long had you had that?
It not long. And it had, this is the piece I put in my mouth.
Oh my God.
That piece right there. See my teeth marks?
Oh my God.
I threw it back in the bag. And I was like, in the bag. See, no MSG, no nitrates. But you got lots of, no. Anyway.
It doesn't say like refrigerate after opening or anything, does it?
No.
Right?
No. It's a great brand.
Yeah.
And like, I've had it in my pantry, and the bag before this I had in my desk for, use. Maybe I didn't seal it well. I think the little moisture pack was still in there. I don't know, but it was 100% nasty, or as Hannah says, nasty. It was. I was just like. So I went to the bathroom, and I'm like, bleh, 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 bleh.
I'm surprised you weren't vomiting in the bathroom.
Well, I didn't swallow any of it, so that was at least something. But I was like, I'm texting Mark, I'm like, can you die from eating mold? And I looked it up on Google, and it's like, no, you won't die.
Dogs will.
But
You have to be really careful that your dogs don't get a hold of mold, because, they'll get very, very sick. They'll start having seizures, all kinds of stuff.
well, I'm sure, like if I'd eaten that whole piece, I probably would have gotten sick. But just having it in my mouth.
That always.
Oh, it was so gross. It was so fuzzy. It was like I was like eating this yarn. It was so gross. And so that was nasty.
When she was telling me that story, I thought it's like that scene in Minority Report where Tom Cruise is, he's had his eyeballs replaced, so his eyes are all bandaged, and the guy tells him, "Oh, there's a sandwich and a glass of milk in the refrigerator," and when he goes to grab it, he grabs it off the wrong shelf, and on the other shelf there's a moldy sandwich and a rotten glass of milk, and he takes a bite of the moldy sandwich and spits it out, and then he takes a drink of the rotten milk and spits that.
No, I wasn't blind. I was just distracted. Yeah, no, it was so gross. Ugh, it was nasty. But I moved my desk this week, so I'm in a new place. Here's my new digs. I took pictures. It's a much smaller desk, so I had to pare down. I'm like, some of my bosses were like, "Oh, sorry, I didn't realize it was so much smaller than, And I'm like, it's okay. It'll just, the more room I have, the more junk I keep, It's like so, it was, anyway, so, but it's nice. It's a nice area, and everybody's moving around. We're doing like the big office shuffle, and, but yeah, that's what's happening. Oh, but then also I got this new purse. I'm bringing this, my show and tell. I ordered this online, and I absolutely love it. It's by a company called, you probably, if you hear it or you listen to this, you'll all get it in your feeds, because that's how Google works. But it's by a company called, I don't know how to say it, Minooy, something like that. Anyway, it has your drink is in my way. It has this front zipper pocket like this, and it opens up into a wallet, and it has like, here's the receipt. It has like, I don't know, a whole ton of
credit card slots.
So I don't have to carry my wallet, which I really like. And it has a little zipper pocket. And then these are like those anti-theft, like you can snap them shut so that someone walking behind you can't just unzip them. So that's nice. And it's, I guess, RFID safe. And then this pocket, this has a main pocket like this, and it zips all the way down and it opens.
Still preparing to
really
go.
Huge.
Still preparing for Boston.
Yeah. But but no, just in my life, I'm like, I didn't want to take that big purse I had. And I can't, I'm so sick of it. I'm like, why is it so heavy? I mean, this is heavy, but it's compact, and it holds all my stuff and all my little meters and weird things I have to take. It has a key leash. Anyway, it was expensive, and it's real leather, and it was expensive, and it was Chinese, but it's okay. And it has a sliding pocket back here. But I'm really glad I got it, because for Boston, I wanted something that will fit inside another, like a backpack or something, and then is nice for walking around town. And then my aunt gave me this. I never find my name on anything, ever.
I noticed that earlier, and I was like...
She found this little keychain for me and gave it to me a while ago, and I just had it sitting around, but I'm like, oh, look, it looks so cute on my purse. So anyway, that's my new purse. I love it.
She gave me one that's a alien.
So I really like that purse, and I feel pretty much ready to go to Boston. I'm very excited. 1 week from yesterday, I will be there. Flying in, we leave super stupid early and get there, but I like that because we get there in the afternoon. And then we leave pretty late on Monday, like at 4, which means we have the morning to spend with her.
So all three of you are going?
Mm-hmm.
Are you just going to go park your car over there?
No, I thought you offered to take us.
I did, but I didn't remember what you said.
No, it would be great if you don't mind being anti-Uber.
I don't mind. It's just
airport.
these days I can't wake up, so make sure you call me that I'm late.
Yeah, I think we have to be there. I mean, our flight leaves at 5:20. Sorry.
So you have to be there when?
3:20.
Huh?
3 something. 3:30, something like that.
What day is that?
Next Friday. So we'll have to record early also. So
It's your fault.
It's my
It's all
fault.
your fault.
it's my fault. It's all my fault. So exciting though. So excited. I talked to her. Today's her birthday.
Yeah.
And I have kept this secret this whole time about that Pooh Bear. And I cannot wait. I was like, your dad was upset that, we didn't have anything to send you for your birthday because we're going to see her next week. Let's take her to birthday stuff. She's like, that's okay. I don't need more junk in my life. And I said, well, you have to accept junk for your birthday. Even if you don't need it. But so she has no idea about the Pooh Bear. I cannot wait. Wait. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. We got to figure out what we're going to do. We talked about, one of the things we're going to do. Mark splurged. I cannot believe it either. But Handel Haydn Society in Boston plays early music on period instruments. And we've always wanted to go ever since we left, we've always wanted to go back and hear a concert. I always dreamed of, hey, Mark, surprise, we're going to Boston to hear Messiah, like that, But it turns out they're playing all of the Brandenburg concertos.
Oh.
All of them. In Jordan Hall at our school on Saturday night. So he got the three of us tickets. He offered Hannah a ticket, but she's like, I don't know how I'm going to feel because her recital's the next day. She's like, I don't know how I'm going to feel, and maybe I'll try to get a student ticket if I want to, if I feel like I can go, or she might just want to be, focusing on her recital stuff. So, but he got us tickets to go, and I'm so excited. It's going to be absolutely gorgeous. It's going to be a long concert, but it's going to be gorgeous. I'm so happy. So we're doing that. And then there's the Prudential Center in Boston used to have an observation deck when I was in school there. And then for many, 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 many years it was closed. But they've redone it and they've opened it. I think there's like 2 or 3 different levels. And there's like restaurants up there and like there's a gift shop. And like you can buy a ticket to go up and includes money to shop at the gift shop, which is like right up Eli's alley. And so I think we're going to do that, at least at some point.
How long are you going to stay?
Just a weekend, long weekend. Because hotels are so expensive. I wanted to stay longer, but the hotel was, because we don't want to rent a car, so we have to stay walking distance to the school, and it's exorbitant.
Yeah, that area.
Exorbitant.
So
make sure you don't have a mouse in your room.
Oh no, we won't. No, we're not staying at that hotel. That hotel
at
is
that
no
time
longer.
of year too, with all the graduations and all that.
Yeah.
So does that also mean she's staying there in Boston afterwards?
She is going to stay in Boston. Yeah, she's going to live there. And then I'm going back 2 weeks later. Just me for her graduation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I'm going to stay with her, which will be nice. But no, I just love that town. So we're trying to figure out things to do. Like Eli's like, what are we going to do for fun? And so, and Hannah's like, I got to make a list of places we can eat. And I'm like,
I still remember when we went for your graduation, eating with you in Faneuil Hall.
Yeah,
and
so much fun.
Because I got there before everybody, or what? Because I flew in from Florida. And they were driving, but I remember looking over at you and going, she's all grown up.
Yeah.
You were talking to me about Mark or something,
Yeah.
and you were so happy, and you were looking over at me, and I was like, yeah, my baby sister isn't a baby anymore.
That's how I feel. Well, today's her birthday, and I'm like, dang. Yeah. All my kids are all grown up. What was I going to say? Oh, yeah. So Hannah's planning our culinary tour of Boston, especially because Mark's going to be there. Because like when I went in November last year, to hear that piece that she played, and we ate a lot of different places. And so, but she's like, I have to make a list of places to take Dad, to eat and stuff. And my whole diet has completely changed, and I'm like, I hope I can eat wherever we're going. I'll figure it out, but
when
It'll be
when
it'll
I
be
was
a challenge.
when I was in
But she
grad
was like, I want to go to the North End. I'm like, oh, I can't, no pasta. Okay, rethink.
when I was in graduate school in Indiana, there was a restaurant that we would go to when we were feeling rich. My friend Janet and I and a couple of our friends, like maybe once a month, maybe less than that, to this place called the Dow.
Yeah.
And it was very, I think it was basically vegetarian,
Chinese or something?
No, it wasn't Chinese exactly, but it was just sort of, I don't know, New Agey you might call it or something. I don't know, but it was, fairly light fare. But we used to like to go to it because the one that was close to campus was attached to a bakery, and so their dessert menu was really, really good. And so we would, go there once in a while and splurge there. Most of the time, on the weekend when we ate, we would order what we called pizza distress, because there was a company called Pizza Express that would, like all the pizza places in town. The first year I was there, a couple of them delivered. The second year I was there, everybody delivered, because on Sunday night when the cafeterias didn't serve dinner, my window was on the second floor overlooking the front entrance of the building, and you just see car after car after car, delivery cars coming to deliver pizza. Anyway, so we would eat at the Dow every once in a while. And when Janet and I finished graduate school, her parents and my parents were there, and you were there, I guess.
Yeah.
And so we were both thinking, oh wow, let's go to the Dow. It's a nice fancy place. And we went to the Dow, and my dad and her dad were looking at the menu like, there's no meat. We're like, oops. They both looked like, there's nothing to
Dad
eat
looked
here.
a lot the same as when we went to Peter Jungle.
Yeah. Yeah, we tried to introduce them to Peter Jungle.
And
Yeah.
kind of, what is that restaurant you like that's over by IKEA?
Chop Shop. Yeah, yeah. Although they have sandwiches there, I think.
Yeah, but they don't have coffee.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of restaurants, there's it's kind of a national chain, so they're probably here and there across the country. But there's a place called First Watch that's basically a breakfast brunch kind of place, and we used to eat at one here in town, once in a blue moon. And then also in our stomping grounds, there was a place called Sweet Tomatoes that many of you probably may have known about. But and it was
Was that where it is?
salad place. Yeah.
Oh.
And it was a salad place, and my mom loved to go there because it was a sort of all you can eat buffet kind of style place. And so we used to eat there fairly often, on Sundays.
I'm like, I don't know if I could ever walk in that building again.
Yeah, and so then but Sweet Tomatoes closed during the pandemic, and so that building where Sweet Tomatoes was sat vacant for a long time, and just recently, First Watch took over that building and announced they're doing a soft opening actually this morning and Sunday, yeah. And they said, it's sign up for VIP perks, whatever. So I went ahead and did that, and because I don't know what they're going to be or whatever, and what it was is Saturday and Sunday they were doing as a soft opening. And they were offering, I guess, if you were signed up for the VIP thing, you could get a complimentary meal, but you had to you had to RSVP and make reservations or whatever. But so I kind of tried to do that, but I was looking into it. But then by the time I did it,
was too
they
late.
didn't have any. Yeah, they didn't have any slots available on Sunday, and today, of course, we wouldn't have been able to
I wonder
do
how
it.
it's going to affect the other one over on Ray and Rural. Probably
I
not.
don't think it'll affect it at all. One of the reasons why I hesitate to go there, well, now it's money, but why I would hesitate to go there is because by the time we get over there, the line would be
Yeah.
enormous.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Mark.
And-
Mark likes the restaurant, but hates waiting.
There's so many people trying to get into that one place, so
Maybe it'll
it
be
would
good.
spread it out a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also the one that we always went to had a smaller dining area, I think.
Yeah, that one's going to
Oh.
be huge.
Yeah,
If
this
they're
one- this
using
one's
that
pretty-
whole
pretty
space.
big.
And you know how you said you didn't know if you would want to go in there again. I think it's perfect because Mom loved First Watch.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
know. But I'm
And-
just like, this. Every time I looked at that Sweet Tomatoes building, I'm just like, I'm glad it's not there. I'm glad I have no opportunity to go back to Sweet Tomatoes. This makes me sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so my egg lady, if you've been with us for a long time, you remember that I used to go get eggs every week. And then she had a lot of problems with her flock, and she's also had sheep, and they've had a lot of health issues and stuff. And
the
they
sheep or
stopped-
her?
she and her husband, and they've stopped. They stopped selling eggs for a long time, and I would think of her every Wednesday because Wednesday was Egg Money Day because I was the mule for my office, all the egg people, like time to pay Sonia. So anyway, I get an email from her out of the blue last week, like, would you like some eggs? And I'm like, why? Yes, I would. Because every time I buy eggs at the grocery store, I get sad. And so,
Especially with the price.
yeah, well, I mean, her eggs aren't cheap,
Yeah,
but
but
they're worth it.
but her eggs are fresh and they're not
Right.
you
Well,
know.
and it's not even the price, but it was just like, I just want to know exactly how my chickens are being treated. So, so I went out and got eggs last week and again just now this morning, and they've reduced their sheep flock and are going to start actually growing, actually farming, and but they have some raised beds built, and I guess she said that the way they built them, they built them with these cinder blocks and 2x4s, which I had seen the construction thing at like Home Depot or whatever, and I was like, because they were taking them apart when I got there this morning, and I was like, do those work? She's like, well, they work if in certain ways, but then I guess they had built them too high, and she goes, they looked out, I don't know, yesterday or something, and a whole one of their walls had fallen. So that they already filled them with soil, so they're having to take the walls down, move all the soil, and rebuild. And I was like, oh my gosh! But
Excuse me.
But it was so nice, and so nice to see her and get my eggs again. And
Now that her chickens are behaving.
now that her chickens are behaving, so I like, time for the egg train at work. Egg train's going, so it's good.
So
It's good.
are the same people happy?
Yeah, so actually my boss is going to do every other week, and she is alternating with my other colleague who used to get eggs every week, but says that he's changed roommates, and his their roommates had eaten a lot of eggs before, and
No, not so much.
yeah, not so much. So they're going to do every other week. So Nick and my boss are going to alternate, which works perfect. And I guess my neighbor's going to get some. She got some this morning and stuff. So we'll just kind of play it by ear. But
She has less chickens now?
Huh?
Does she have less
I don't know.
chickens now?
I don't know. But she's got about 8 dozen up for grabs, she said. So, but she's like, she goes, you just let me know week to week and we'll figure it out. I'm like, okay.
That's
Cool
good.
beans. Yeah. But I've got to go. I got to go try to
Yes.
convince my husband to get a new phone this weekend. He's been needing a new phone for ever. And like his phone has screen burn. So like if he changes like screens, you can still see the icons burnt into the screen.
Yeah.
And it shuts down, and I'm like, honey, we are traveling in a week and you're going to be on a plane all day long in an airport and you do not want your phone to die while you're traveling.
Yeah.
If anything were to happen, were to get separated, or who knows what, you need a functioning phone.
Yeah.
Finally.
Well,
but see, if I had... But see,
it's-
he's a big baby because in the past, all the phones I've ever gotten him, I get them. I go to T-Mobile and I get them and I bring them home. And I'm like, I'm not going to do that. You are going to go to the phone place and pick your own phone.
That way he doesn't have anything to
And
complain
that's why he hasn't done it. So I told him that we're going this weekend. Either we're going to go today or we're going to go tomorrow, but we're going. You're going to go get your phone. But what about this? And what about that? And I'm like,
So I was all excited because I'm like, oh, I finished the menorah. No, I didn't. Because I left off part of that flame.
oh no.
I mean, I have some back stitching to do on there, but I had looked at it and went,
Sad.
and I just need that one little stitch. But I have other stuff to do with that color, but it's one thread. And
Oh my gosh, so I was cleaning out my desk, and one of the things I was cleaning out, one of the things I found in there was my old calendar book, because I don't know if you've been with us a while, you know that a while ago I got a remarkable tablet, and it has all my notes, and it's got a calendar, and I use it all, and I don't use paper anymore. But there was my old calendar book, and I'm like, I hate to throw away perfectly good calendar pages, and I even tried to pass it off to some of my younger colleagues, and they're like, I would get that and I would never use it. So I was like, okay. And so I'm like cleaning out, and almost falling on the ground was this pen.
Yeah.
I love this pen. I got this from an independent pen maker here in town somewhere. I don't remember the name. But this is made with ebony. It's a tiger ebony, but it's the same material that
Oh, wow.
they make violin fingerboards out of.
Yeah.
Which is why I bought it. And it's a really nice pen, and I almost completely lost it. So I was like, oh, the pen! I love this pen. We must go.
Yeah.
We must go.
Yeah.
We must go.
Yeah, we have a concert to go to.
We have a
tonight.
concert tonight, yes.
To attend.
To attend, yes. We played our concert last week.
Yes.
It went well.
Yeah, it did.
I was a little bit, baby, hold together. Like Star Wars, but
Yeah.
it went
And
went actually well.
Sketch over the X-Wings. Oh my God. It's like-
Yeah, it was a very hard piece.
Yeah.
And I told Brian, I think actually being in the hall and hearing the sound kind of helped us hear each other
Yeah.
and solidify us and
Yeah.
somehow our nerves.
Yeah.
And it went well.
Yeah.
So shock and surprise.
Yeah.
But yeah, no.
Well,
tonight
you know,
we're just,
when you do a performance, one of two things will happen. Either you'll get nervous and fall apart, or
You'll get nervous
and
and
stick
play well.
together.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
Because you're on the edge
'Cause
just enough to
nerves
hang on.
can actually
Yeah.
help you actually, and I just think
Yeah.
I was telling Mark, it's like you have to just so that piece is so hard. You're like your brain is completely focused for like that whatever half hour. And
Yeah.
you're like, and it's kind of fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for joining
Yes.
us, and we will see you again next week. Bye.